So in a vacuum, I really like Ausar Thompson.
Hmm.
I don't necessarily love him for the Pistons just because of like the spacing issues that I
Yep.
think that they could have. What have you seen or heard that's made you feel better about his fit in Detroit?
Man, seeing him at Summer League, and again, it's just Summer League. I don't want to. We've seen guys. We saw Anthony Bennett go nuts in Summer League, and all due respect, we saw that ended. And but like Asar does things that translate, right? Like it wasn't. If you can defend at Summer League, you should be able to defend in the league, right? Like I just feel like that. Like, of course, there are guys there that aren't going to make a roster, but you can see a guy who can defend. Like it's just shot
Yep.
making is just a little more flimsy of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can see eye popping athleticism. Like I've watched several NBA players glide for a putback dunk. I don't know if I've seen very many glide like the way Asar does. Um, his vision, the way he moves in transition, like the comparison is so played out already. But like when Troy drafted him and was like, yeah, it's oh, I see a little Andre Iguodala, then you keep that in your mind and you watch him you kind of do see it. Like
Yeah.
you want to be respectful to Iguodala, who has a Hall of Fame career and I think should be a Hall of Famer. Uh, but like I think the Pistons have always needed, for one, they've always needed a wing who they've always needed a wing of Asar's build during this whole thing, right? So if we want to take it all the way back to Stanley Johnson, like Stanley was had moments of a really good defender, but he wasn't athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, wasn't the ball handler. Asar could be okay passer, but I think Asar's like has like possible secondary ball handling like in him. Could like I could see him even like leading an offense at some point. I think
Sure.
he's that smart. But then you even factor in just like the defense and the rebounding. Like he averaged a double double at summer league as a three. Like that's not
Mm-hmm.
nothing. That's
Yeah.
not nothing.
Mm-mm.
That shows that this is a guy who just has a knack for doing things that it takes to win. And I just think the Pistons need, not that they don't have guys like that. I think they have several guys like that, but to add another one at that position where they've always just kind of never really had, like I'm trying to think of the last great wing that the Pistons, like really good wing that the Pistons have had, like KCP.
Yeah.
Uh, but like the before that, you have to go probably to Tayshaun Prince.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like something that they just never were able to address and ever able to figure out. And I just look at Asar, I'm like, I don't know how good he'll be, but I know he won't be bad. Like he's
Yeah.
not going to be out of the league at the age of 26 or 27. Like he's going to be, I think he's going to be like, I just like, and another thing, like when you get covering the league and you're around and you just kind of learn what it takes to build like a sustainable program, you don't, until you get there, you don't really understand how important it is to have the guys who just do like winning play stuff. And to me, that's like, I think that's like culture changing
Yeah.
if it translates. Just, and it sounds like I'm just like putting this kid on a pedestal already, but I don't know, man. He averaged like he can rebound, he can defend his ass off. He can put the ball on the floor, he can make passes. Like really, the only question I have is the shot. That's really the only
Yeah.
question. Um,
Well, and if you spend any time around them, it's hard
oh my
not to like
gosh,
hype them at all. Like I was at the
that
draft,
yeah.
I talked to them like before the draft, and you're just like, wow, what? I mean, like as like a dad, I'm like, what an impressive young man. Like
Then yeah, the nicest kids. Like it's almost, I mean this in the most respectful way possible. Like it's almost like they're almost like nerdy, but
yeah,
like in a
yeah.
very genuine competitive way.
And they
They're just
love
yeah,
the NBA and they
yeah,
love basketball. Like, if you've seen any of these videos of them that came out of OTE about like them quizzing them about these like different players and whatnot, they're coming
yeah.
up with like these deep cuts that at their age they shouldn't know.
No,
You know,
Elise Johnson.
that was ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So
like
it was
insane.
honestly weird. It's honestly a little
Yeah.
weird.
Well, their middle names are like letters. I need to find out about that. Have you ever looked up their middle names?
Well, I'm looking at a SARS right now. XLNC
Yeah, and I think his
Thompson.
bro. I think Amends is the same.
What does
I don't know,
that mean?
like
Yeah, it's the
so
same
it kind
thing.
of
XLNC. What is that?
so it like kind of like plays into like their when you meet them and you watch them play and you look at them, they feel like they were built in a factory.
Yeah, they're
And then you just
robots.
and
These
then
are
you look at
robots.
the
That's their
middle, yeah,
serial number.
and
Yeah.
then you look at the middle name, and exactly, it's like a serial number. But I'm glad you said that too, because like just the nice, like I've only met Asar, but being around him a couple times this summer, like just the nicest kid. You can tell how hard he works, and yeah, man, I think the Pistons like I think they like got like like I think Asar is going to be really good. I do. I don't know why I think that. Uh, why
I
I
think
just
he
explained
also
why, but yeah.
allows the Pistons to play small in a way that I don't think they could have in the past, where you
Mm-hmm.
could play him at, I mean, he's 6'7, 215, 220. You
Yep.
can play him at the four against a lot of different teams.
Yep.
And then you could play beef stew. And if Isaiah Stewart can truly be a spacer, that unlocks like a small ball lineup that the Pistons haven't like really been able to play. And then you
No,
can play like all your best players, including like I think Monte Morris is going to be a big part of what they do this year, probably bigger
I
than
agree.
what a lot of people are assuming. And then you
Mm-hmm.
could play Monte, and you could play Cade, and you could play Jaden and Asar and Isaiah Stewart, and that is like a really versatile, switchy, fun, like a really fun offensive team. And,
Yep.
but Isaiah Stewart's got to shoot it. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to play that lineup if he doesn't shoot it. But I think Asar allows them to do that too with his passing and cutting abilities.
Yep. And I even think too, if Stu becomes a shooter, I think he can be. If Jaden, if what we saw last year at the end of the year was real, if Cade becomes a shooter, we think he can be. And you just plug Asar in at the three, and you have three guys who can space the floor. Then you have Duran, who has the potential to be
Yeah.
a great rim protector. I think he has the physical tools to switch. Like I think for Asar, I think Asar, like you just kind of mentioned, can play in any lineup. It just depends on it depends on everybody else around him. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of where my I think uh excitement for Asar comes from. Like I can't picture a lineup where I can't put Asar in and he makes an impact in a positive way.